Welcome back to World History Explored. Today, we're delving into the history of Germany, from the very beginning right up until 2010. But trust me, we've got plenty more to uncover, so you should subscribe now. Way back when, Julius Caesar had this idea to divide up Europe, you know? He called this area east of the Rhine Germania, kind of separating it from Gaul. But then, surprise, surprise, these Germanic tribes pulled off a major upset by winning the Battle of the Teutoburg Forest in 9 AD, stopping the Roman Empire in its tracks. Even though the Romans managed to set up some provinces along the Rhine, like Germania Superior and Germania Inferior, the Germanic tribes stood their ground. And hey, this is just the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot more to the story, especially when it comes to how Roman influences continued to shape Germania. So let's talk about the Roman showdowns in Germany, which went down between 12 BC and AD 16. It's like a series of heavyweight bouts between the Germanic tribes and the mighty Roman Empire. The tension started brewing way back in 1716 BC, with a little clash called the Clades Lalania. Basically, the Romans got their butts handed to them by tribes like the Sicambri, Usipetes, and Tencteri. It was not a great start for Team Rome. But Emperor Augustus wasn't about to take that lying down. He went full-on construction mode, beefing up military stuff all across Gaul. His right-hand man, Nero Claudius Drusus, got busy building forts along the Rhine and then decided to pay the Germanic tribes a visit across the river in 12 BC. Talk about bold moves. Drusus wasn't done yet. He led 3 more campaigns against those Germanic troublemakers between 11 and 9 BC. In 10 BC, he even scored points for being the Roman dude who ventured the farthest east in northern Europe. But the Romans kept pushing, with generals like Publius Quintilius Varus leading the charge in 9 AD. Now here comes the plot twist. Varus and his crew got blindsided by a Germanic ambush in the infamous Battle of the Teutoburg Forest. It was a disaster for Rome, and it put a hard stop to their plans to expand into Germany. From then on, it was all about revenge for the Romans. But even with setbacks like the Varian disaster, Rome wasn't ready to throw in the towel. They sent one last big shot into Germany in 16 AD, led by Germanicus, who was Tiberius's right-hand man. And with that, the curtain fell on this chapter of Roman Germanic drama. Let's bridge the events from Augustus's reign to the buildup of tensions that eventually led to the Roman campaigns in Germania, weaving together the political, military, and strategic shifts that occurred during this time. It's 27 BC, and Augustus, the new princeps, has a lot on his plate. One of his top priorities? Dealing with uprisings in Gallia. So he sends his trusted lieutenant, Agrippa, to sort things out. But little did they know, trouble was brewing beyond Gallia's borders. You see, during these uprisings, weapons were sneaking into Gallia from across the Rhine in Germania. At the time, Rome's grip on the Rhineland was pretty loose. They only really bothered with punitive expeditions against intruders, focusing more on solidifying control over Gallia. But once Gallia was pacified, Augustus and his crew got to work. They beefed up the infrastructure, with Agrippa leading the charge by improving the Roman road network in 20 BC. They also started flexing their military muscle along the Rhine, constructing several forts between 19 and 17 BC. Augustus had big dreams for the empire, and expanding its borders into Germania seemed like the next logical step. Then in 1716 BC, things took a turn. The Sicambri, Usipetes, and Tencteri tribes decided to crash the party, crossing the Rhine and launching an attack on a Roman cavalry unit. They even managed to snag the eagle of the 5th Legion, led by poor Marcus Lollius. This defeat shook Augustus to the core. He knew he had to step up his game if he wanted to prevent further incursions. So he went back to the drawing board. Augustus reorganized and beefed up the military presence in Gaul, gearing up for future campaigns across the Rhine. And wouldn't you know it, his efforts paid off. Lollius and Augustus struck back, forcing the invaders to retreat back to Germania and beg for peace. But the story doesn't end there. From 16 to 13 BC, Augustus was a busy bee in Gaul. He wasn't just twiddling his thumbs waiting for the next fight, he was laying the groundwork for what was to come. He set up a mint in Lugdunum, that's Lyon for you modern folk, ensuring a steady flow of cash to pay the soldiers. He also got busy with a census, making sure taxes were collected nice and efficiently from Gallia. And let's not forget about those military bases popping up along the west bank of the Rhine, ready to defend against any future threats. Augustus may have started as a prince with a laundry list of problems, but he wasn't one to back down from a challenge. With strategic planning, military might, and a dash of political savvy, he set the stage for Rome's expansion into Germania. Little did he know, he was about to embark on one of the most significant chapters in Roman history. So Tiberius, being the cautious leader he was, decided to hit the pause button on any military adventures beyond the Rhine. Instead of diving headfirst into the fray, he played a clever game of alliances, pitting Germanic tribes against each other while Rome watched from the sidelines. It turns out that Tiberius found more success in the realm of diplomacy than in direct military action. It was just too darn risky and expensive to go gallivanting beyond the Rhine. Even if Rome had managed to conquer all the land between the Rhine and the Elbe, it would have been a financial and logistical nightmare to maintain control. Now, fast forward to Claudius's reign. There was a glimmer of hope for another crack at Germania with Corbulo's expedition in 47. They made some initial headway against the Frisians and Chaucis, but their momentum fizzled out pretty quickly. But fear not, because Domitian swooped in and actually snagged some new territories between the Rhine and the Danube. His generals went to town between 83 and 85, carving out what came to be known as the Agri Decumates. By 85, they had even organized the lands on the western side of the Rhine into the Roman provinces of Germania Inferior and Germania Superior. And let's not forget about Raetia, which had been established way back in 15 BC in what's now Bavaria, Switzerland, and Austria. But here's the kicker. After Domitian, Rome pretty much hit the pause button on major incursions into Germania Magna until Marcus Aurelius came onto the scene during the Marcomannic Wars. So while the Romans may have taken a breather from Germanic adventures for a while, you can bet they were always keeping an eye on those lands across the Rhine, ready to pounce when the time was right. With that being said, Germany has a rich archaeological heritage dating back millions of years. Fossils of pre-human apes and early humans have been discovered, shedding light on our evolutionary past. The famous Neanderthal fossils found in Germany date back over 40,000 years, providing valuable insights into human evolution. During the Paleolithic and Neolithic ages, Germany was inhabited by early human populations who left behind remarkable artifacts, including tools, sculptures, and musical instruments. These archaeological finds, such as the Lohenmensch figurine and the Venus of Hohle Fels, offer glimpses into ancient cultures and artistic expression. As civilization progressed, Germany witnessed the rise of early farming communities and the development of complex societies during the Bronze Age. Cultures like the corded ware culture and the Urnfield culture left their mark on the landscape, contributing to the rich tapestry of European history. Through the study of Germany's prehistory and ancient civilizations, archaeologists and historians continue to uncover fascinating insights into the origins and development of human societies in this region. Throughout the Bronze Age, significant cultural and technological advancements took place in Germany and surrounding regions. The Urnfield culture, named for its practice of cremating the dead and placing their ashes in urns, flourished during this period. This culture, which spanned from around 1300 BC to 750 BC, replaced earlier cultures like the Bell-Beaker and Tumulus cultures in Central Europe. Meanwhile, in Scandinavia and northern Germany, the Nordic Bronze Age was unfolding. This period saw the development of distinct cultural practices and artistic styles, as evidenced by artifacts like the Golden Hat of Schifferstadt and the Nebra sky disk. The Late Bronze Age also witnessed the emergence of Indo-European populations in Central Europe, including the corded ware culture. These migrations brought new languages, technologies, and social structures to the region, shaping its development for centuries to come. Fast forward, after the Western Roman Empire took a tumble, the Franks came swooping in and took over the rest of the West Germanic tribes. Things got even more interesting when Charlemagne's empire was split up in 843, and the eastern part became known as East France. But wait, there's more. In 962, Otto I was crowned the first Holy Roman Emperor, shaping the medieval German state as we know it. So the concept of Germany has some pretty deep roots, from Caesar's time all the way to the Holy Roman Empire. As the centuries rolled on, Germany's influence kept growing. During the High Middle Ages, German port cities dominated trade through the Hanseatic League, spreading their reach across the Baltic and North Seas. Meanwhile, a fervent crusading spirit within German Christendom gave rise to the Teutonic Order along the Baltic coast, laying the groundwork for what would later become Prussia. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. The investiture controversy saw German emperors clash with the Catholic Church over authority, setting the stage for power struggles to come. By the late Middle Ages, regional dukes, princes, and bishops were flexing their muscles, often at the expense of the emperor's authority. Then enter Martin Luther. In 1517, he sparked the Protestant Reformation within the Catholic Church, triggering a seismic shift in religious allegiance across Germany. While the North and East embraced Protestantism, the South and West largely remained loyal to Catholicism. But perhaps the darkest chapter in Germany's history was the 30 Years' War, a brutal civil conflict that ravaged the Holy Roman Empire from 1618 to 1648, leaving behind a trail of destruction and suffering. After the Peace of Westphalia, the estates of the empire gained significant autonomy, with key players like Austria, Prussia, Bavaria, and Saxony emerging as major powers. The Napoleonic Wars ushered in the end of feudalism and ultimately led to the dissolution of the Holy Roman Empire in 1806. Napoleon took advantage of the chaos, creating the Confederation of the Rhine as a puppet state. But following his defeat, the German Confederation emerged under Austrian leadership. Despite the failed German revolutions of 1848 to 1849, the Industrial Revolution brought about rapid changes. Urban centers boomed, and the socialist movement gained momentum. Prussia, centered in Berlin, rose to prominence, bolstered by advancements in science, the humanities, music, and art at German universities. The pinnacle of this transformation came with the unification of Germany in 1871, spearheaded by Chancellor Otto von Bismarck. Otto von Bismarck, a prominent Prussian and later German statesman, played a pivotal role in the unification of Germany in 1871, a significant historical transformation. Known as the Iron Chancellor for his steadfast leadership, Bismarck rose from humble origins to become a key figure in European politics. His strategy of realpolitik and assertive governance earned him widespread recognition and influence. Initially emerging from a Junker landowner background, Bismarck quickly ascended in Prussian political circles under King Wilhelm I of Prussia. He held various diplomatic and parliamentary positions before assuming the role of minister-president and foreign minister of Prussia from 1862 to 1890. Bismarck orchestrated the unification of Germany through a series of decisive conflicts with Denmark, Austria, and France, ultimately leading to the establishment of the German Empire. His diplomatic prowess was evident in reshaping European alliances and maintaining Germany's position on the global stage. Internally, Bismarck implemented innovative social policies, laying the groundwork for the modern welfare state to counter socialist movements. He navigated complex political landscapes, including conflicts with the Catholic Church and the rise of nationalist sentiments. Despite tensions with Emperor Wilhelm I and his successors, Bismarck remained central to German politics until his dismissal in 1890. Bismarck's legacy is complex. He is hailed for his contributions to German unification and diplomatic finesse, yet criticized for his authoritarian tendencies and persecution of minority groups. While revered by German nationalists, his policies also contributed to the rise of aggressive nationalism in the 20th century. Ultimately, Bismarck's impact on European history remains profound and subject to ongoing scrutiny and debate, resulting in the formation of the German Empire. However, the new Reichstag, though elected, had limited authority in the imperial government. Germany also joined the global scramble for colonies, participating in colonial expansion in Africa and the Pacific alongside other major powers. By the turn of the 20th century, Germany had emerged as the powerhouse of Europe, surpassing Britain's industrial might and sparking tensions, notably in a naval arms race. Leading the Central Powers in World War I, Germany faced defeat, occupation, hefty war reparations, and the loss of colonies and territory. The German Revolution of 1918 to 1919 brought an end to the German Empire, with Wilhelm II abdicating and paving the way for the establishment of the Weimar Republic. However, this new parliamentary democracy struggled with instability. Allied occupation led to denazification efforts, widespread displacement, and territorial reorganization, with parts of Germany annexed by Poland and the Soviet Union. During World War II, Germany faced staggering casualties, with estimates ranging from 5.5 to 6.9 million deaths. German historian Rüdiger Overmann's research suggests that around 5.3 million military personnel were killed or went missing, including 900,000 individuals conscripted from areas beyond Germany's 1937 borders. Civilian losses were also devastating. Historian Richard Overy's analysis suggests that approximately 353,000 civilians perished in Allied air raids. Moreover, mass rapes of German women occurred, further adding to the human toll of the war. Amidst this devastation, the plight of German refugees was also profound. A poignant image from February 1945 captures German refugees in Bedburg, near Cleve, reflecting the widespread suffering experienced by civilians during this tumultuous period. In the years following the war, Germany underwent a process of denazification, aimed at purging Nazi ideology from society and holding perpetrators accountable for their actions. War crimes trials, such as the Nuremberg trials, brought many Nazi leaders to justice and helped shed light on the full extent of their crimes. At the same time, efforts were made to promote reconciliation and peace in Europe. The establishment of institutions like the European Union aimed to foster cooperation and prevent the recurrence of conflict. Germany also embarked on a path of remembrance and commemoration, honoring the victims of the war and working to ensure that such horrors would never be repeated. Despite the immense challenges, Germany ultimately emerged from the ashes of the war as a resilient and prosperous nation. Through determination, hard work, and a commitment to peace and reconciliation, the German people rebuilt their country and forged a new path forward. Today, Germany stands as a testament to the power of resilience and the possibility of redemption. The scars of war may still linger, but Germany's journey from devastation to recovery serves as a powerful reminder of the human capacity for renewal and hope. Throughout the Cold War, Germany remained divided into West Germany, aligned with NATO, and East Germany, part of the Warsaw Pact. Economic prosperity flourished in the West, attracting refugees from the communist East and solidifying its position as a dominant force in Western Europe. The late 1980s brought monumental changes to Germany and Europe as a whole. The fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989 symbolized the end of the Cold War and the collapse of the Eastern Bloc, leading to the reunification of East and West Germany in 1990. This historic event not only reshaped the German nation, but also laid the groundwork for the political integration of Western Europe within the European Union. The friendship between France and Germany, forged through years of cooperation and reconciliation, served as a cornerstone for the EU's development. In 1998 to 99, Germany was among the founding members of the Eurozone, adopting the common currency and further strengthening ties with its European neighbors. Today, Germany stands as a powerhouse within Europe, contributing approximately 1/4 of the Eurozone's annual gross domestic product. Its economic stability and influence position it as a key player in European affairs. In the early 2010s, Germany took on a crucial role in tackling the escalating euro crisis, particularly concerning struggling nations like Greece and other southern European countries. Through diplomatic efforts and financial aid, Germany aimed to stabilize the Eurozone and ensure its ongoing prosperity. Angela Merkel, a prominent figure in German politics, served as Chancellor from 2005 to 2021, playing a pivotal role during this period. As a member of the Christian Democratic Union, Merkel was not only the first female Chancellor of Germany, but also emerged as a key leader within the European Union and on the global stage. Born in Hamburg, Merkel's political career began after the revolutions in 1989, eventually rising to prominence under Chancellor Helmut Kohl. Throughout her tenure, Merkel prioritized international cooperation, navigated economic crises, and implemented domestic policies such as the Energiewende program and healthcare reforms. Despite stepping down as CDU leader and not seeking re-election in 2021, Merkel's legacy as a transformative leader in German and European politics remains significant. All right, folks, that's a wrap for today's dive into Germany's history from way back to 2010. Do you have any burning questions about the Paleolithic, Neolithic, or Bronze Ages in Germany? Drop them in the comments below. Thanks for joining us on World History Explored. Stick around for more intriguing content. Oh, and don't forget to share your ideas for what you want to see next in the comments. If you enjoyed this voyage through time, please like, subscribe, and click the notification bell to join us for more explorations into the fascinating histories of the world, right here on World History Explored.